So let's talk about Florian Wirtz. It does say here that Barcelona have made contacts with Wirtz, the father and the agent, to inquire about his situation. Earliest he can leave Germany will be in 2024. Now, this basically means that the people are surrounding Wirtz are working to see if this player can make a move in the summer of 2024 and after the Euros. Now, there's this debate, is this real or not? And I want to make 2 points. The fact that the Spanish media and also the German media have reported the exact same thing about Barcelona making contacts with Wirtz and his entourage is already a huge deal. Going on to point number 2 on why I believe this could be real. And I want to explain one thing first. Wirtz has been having a phenomenal season in this specific season, right? He has scored 2 goals and provided 6 assists. He made his debut back in January 2023, which was about 2 or 3 months ago against Mönchengladbach. And the reason why Wirtz has been out for so long is because he was out between March 2022 and November 2022 because of a ACL injury. And many at that time were saying that, okay, it's good while it lasted. This was a great player, but now he's no longer going to be a great player because he did, again, rupture his or like tear his ACL. But now look at where Wirtz is at. He has 2 goals and provided 6 assists in the past 2 to 3 months. He's stronger than ever. And if we analyze Wirtz and what he does on the pitch, he's pure Barcelona. And he has been playing amazing under Xabi Alonso. As a matter of fact, I would put Wirtz in the exact same conversation of Pedri and Gavi in terms of potential, the ceiling, the creativity, and of course, the DNA. If you tell me if Wirtz can be a Barcelona player, of course he can. He would gel so well with the rest of the players. And so why am I telling you this? Well, many clubs are going to be looking to sign this player because of how well he has been playing. When you have a player scoring goals, providing an assist, there's going to be a huge demand. And so the fact that Barcelona is talking with Wirtz this early, Barcelona simply want to be a few steps ahead, which is why we're hearing Barcelona trying to start conversation with Wirtz so they could potentially sign him officially in the summer of 2024. If we can't get an agreement with this player, plus knowing that Bayer Leverkusen is a selling club, I think that it could happen. Now look, there are going to be other teams that will be asking for this player. Like I think that Bayern Munich will be the main ones because Wirtz is German. Bayern Munich also like to sign players from the exact same league, which is the Bundesliga. And so we're probably going to be seeing other clubs like maybe Manchester City, maybe PSG. There will be huge demand. And so that is why Barcelona is starting today to work on that personal agreement. I hope that Barcelona can get creative and say, let's get a loan with Wirtz and get him next season and then have a buy option in the summer of 2024, or maybe a mandatory buy option by the time we do head towards that specific summer. And so we have to do this as soon as possible because if Manchester City comes in with a big bid with Leverkusen are going to be like, okay, because again, Leverkusen is a selling club. And if City tell Wirtz that, we're going to be losing Bernardo Silva in about 2 years, Gundogan is also going to be leaving, maybe that could convince Wirtz. But I hope that he chooses Barcelona because we have seen this player express many times, and there's also pictures that he is a fan of FC Barcelona. He has loved Barcelona since the day he was like 2 years old or like 3 years old. He saw the Barcelona that was assembled back in 2012, 2015, and he probably still has that love for FC Barcelona. Now, would Barcelona pay 80 million euros for Wirtz? That could be possible if he continues to go on this run, and I would be willing to pay for something like that. Now, you may say, Kevin, don't you think that would be a Bartomeu type of signing to pay this much for a youngster? I don't think so. It's not even close because Bartomeu type of signings are like Barcelona paying 75 to 85 million euros for Gundogan or Bernardo Silva. What this type of signing is a potential signing because we know that the projection with this player is so real. He will gel well within this midfield. The sporting project that we have in Barcelona is immense. If we can have a 4-man midfield that involves Frenkie, Gavi, Pedri, Wirtz, do you know how insane that would be? Do you know how hard it would be for any opposition to take the ball away from us? It would be a midfield with pure control, pure creativity, pure entertainment. Now, where would he be placed? I strongly do think that Wirtz will go into the position that Gavi is in today, which is basically the left wing forward that inverts himself into the midfield. I strongly believe that will happen. You better bet that. Like, clip this part on what I'm saying here. You better bet that Xavi Hernandez will be placing Wirtz in that position and moving Gavi in Pedri's position and then dropping Pedri right next to Frenkie de Jong. I think that if Barcelona can assemble a team like this, let's assume, right, that Messi also comes back because I'm kind of like fantasizing here, but let's assume that Messi comes back because we have heard so many stories about Messi not wanting to stay at PSG. We could see something like this. Wirtz on the left wing, Lewandowski as a striker, Messi on the right, having a midfield of Frenkie, Pedri, and Gavi, and then our back, it is Koundé, Araujo, Christensen, Alejandro Balde with Ter Stegen in goal. This is very possession possession based. This is also a team where, again, like I've said, you can't take the ball away from this team. Imagine having Messi, knowing his control, and then having like Frenkie, Pedri, and Gavi in their primes, with Wirtz doing what he does best, and Lewandowski scoring all of those goals. It's just it's a team it's so possible to build. And so having Wirtz at Barcelona will benefit everybody. And I think that what we are greatly missing on that left side, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in the past like 20 games, we have really missed that flair and that eagerness to score goals on that left side, right? The only player that's able to bring the flair and to bring those massive opportunities to score goals, it is Alejandro Balde. But sometimes we need that player on the left wing that can score goals and bring assists. Gavi, when he plays in that position, he's much more of a creator and someone who can recover the ball and then lend the ball towards somebody else, and that's great. Like, that is what makes Gavi special. But right now, Barcelona do not have any player in that position that can shoot the ball from outside the box or inside the box, take down two players, have a low center of gravity, and be very direct. We don't have someone like that. Wirtz can bring all of that. You may also say, what about Ansu Fati, Kevin? Have you forgotten about Ansu? What's going on with you? Ansu Fati, you know, he is a great player, but right now, just going based off his current form, he's just not it. At the moment, he's really not. We'll see at the end of the season, but right now, he's not it. So let me give you guys an example on what Wirtz could bring to FC Barcelona. We can see this example here, that Gavi is receiving the ball from Sergio Busquets, and this was against Real Madrid, and Gavi knows the space that he has right in front of him, so he brings the ball into space, but immediately gets taken down. One of the ways that you could combat this to continue that play is to either have a faster takeoff or a lower center of gravity, something that Gavi at that specific sequence could not bring. Now, if we look at something very similar when it comes to Wirtz, we can see that he is in a very similar situation. He runs to the middle after receiving the ball, and he waits for one of his teammates to make those runs down the middle, and then he makes that layoff pass and creates a big chance for Bayer Leverkusen. Imagine him bringing that to FC Barcelona, and he can do that to someone like Lewandowski, making those runs from behind, or someone like Vitor Roque, who I hope does come to Barcelona and make those runs from behind. Vitor Roque knows exactly how to make those type of runs. The amount of times Wirtz can place his teammates in positions to take shots, it's monumental. And if we look at this graph here, we can see where Wirtz does make his shot assist. These are basically like passes that Wirtz makes that leads towards one of his teammates making a shot. He really does know how to set up his teammates. Let's look at another example on what else Wirtz could bring, and that is the fluid passing and always being one step ahead. And what do I mean by this? So if we look at this sequence here, we can see Gavi receiving the ball, not even looking what's behind him, and Alejandro Balde is already ready to make that run, and then Gavi makes that layoff pass to Balde, and then Balde is free and he takes on the ball into the final third, right? It's great. This is a great play coming from FC Barcelona and between Balde and Gavi. Now, let's look at another example with Wirtz in the almost exact same sequence of Gavi. He receives the ball. You can see that his back is facing his teammate. His teammate is making that run down the middle, and he lays off that pass beautifully and just cuts the defense in half with a lot of fluidity. And it's crazy because he knows he's making that run even though he's not directly looking at him. So can you imagine Wirtz doing the exact same thing with Alejandro Balde? And the way that he does this with Wirtz, like, it makes Gavi's play look slow. And so that is one of the big strengths that Wirtz have. I'm not trying to like downplay Gavi and what he brings on the left side. What he does is amazing. It's just that Wirtz is much more, you can just see that he's much more direct and fluid with his passing. And if we look at the amount of passes he has made into the penalty area, you can see that there are passes that are on this graph, crosses that's also on this graph, key passes, and also carries. There's a lot, and a lot of those are coming from the left side of the box, and that is exactly where Gavi does play. So it could greatly strengthen FC Barcelona. And then if we can also look at where he does make his recoveries in the final third, again, he's immense. He can really steal the ball away in the midfield. And then if we look at the top, the dribbles that he has made in the final third, a lot of them are on that left side. It shows us that he's very comfortable playing in the left wing position and being inverted. He can do a lot. So he would tactically fit this Barcelona team. It could happen. It's possible. He would definitely upgrade FC Barcelona. He has that 1v1 profile that Gavi does not necessarily have. I think that Gavi is technical, which is why he's going to continue to start under Xavi Hernandez. He can bring a lot. His pressing is amazing. But again, if we want those goals, if we want that flair and that aggressiveness on being direct, Wirtz is your man. So that is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.